Find the first term and common difference of the arithmetic sequence whose fourth term is 0 and 18th term is 42. Okay, so let's go to the notes. Here's the exam 5 notes. It says the arithmetic sequence, the nth term, a sub n equals a1 plus n minus 1d. Use that. So an is a1 plus n minus 1d. So we have fourth term is 0. So this d here stands for the difference or the jump from term to term, as the notes say. N is the term number, and the A1 is the first term. A sub 1, first term. Okay, so it tells us that the fourth term is 0. So that means when you plug in n equals 4, you get a term of 0. So plug in 4 for n. Right here, I'm going to plug in n equals 4. So that means a sub 4 is a1 plus 4 minus 1d. Tracking with me, I put in a 4 for n, and I put in a 4 for n. In both spots for n, put in a 4. Okay, plug in n is 4 in both spots. So, and it's saying the fourth term, the a sub 4, is 0. So this term is 0. The fourth term is 0. The first term, I don't know. 4 minus 1 is 3d. Okay, now, next, right over here, I'm going to plug in what they say. 18th term is 42. Plug in n equals 18 into what? Same formula. We're starting with the a sub n is a1 plus n minus 1d again. This time we're plugging in 18. So a sub 18 for n equals a1 plus 18 minus 1 times t. Right? So a sub 8. Oh, and what is the 18th term? 18th term is 42. So the 18th term is 42. A sub 18, I don't know if I wrote that kind of funny. A sub 18 is 42. Is a1 plus what? 17d. Okay, so what I've got now is I've got two formulas that have two letters, a1 and d. Those are the two things I'm trying to find. So let me line those up underneath each other. In fact, let me just take this one and move it over here. So it'll be 0 is a1 plus 3d. And now I'm going to multiply through by -1. In fact, why don't I just do it right here? Multiply through by -1, -1, -1. So it'll become negative, negative, negative. Why am I doing that? Add these up. A1 and A1 will cancel. You see how, because now they're all negative, right? I multiplied through by -1. By the way, you can do that, right? Anytime you have an equation, this is an equation over here, you can do the same thing to both sides, right? If these two sides are equal and you do the same thing to both sides, like multiply by -1, it's got to be equal afterwards. Two things are equal and you treat them the same, they got to be equal afterwards. So this equation is the same as this equation. Add them up and these A1s cancel. So 42 minus 0, right here is 42. These A1s cancel. 17d minus 3d is 14d. We get to there, okay? And now just divide by 14 and we get d is 3. So we got d up, and that's the common difference, d. Now we need to get a1. How are we going to get a1? We'll just plug d right in there to this equation back before you multiplied by -1. Right? So what was d? 3. So what do I get there? I'm going to get 0 is a1 plus 9. Subtract 9 from both sides. A1 is -9. So the first term must be -9. First term is -9, and the difference from term to term is 3. So let me run over how I did that again, and then I'll show you another way. So I basically took the basic formula for arithmetic sequences, an is a1 plus n minus 1d, plugged in the first information, fourth term is 0, plugged in a 4 for n, 4 for n, and the fourth term, a sub 4, is 0. Got this equation, then did the same thing for 18, plugged in 18 for n, and the 18th term is 42, they said. Got this equation. Multiplied through by -1, put it under here, added up the two equations. A1's canceled. 17d minus 3d is 14, d is 42 divided by 14, d is 3. And then plug that into this equation, or you can plug it into this one. It doesn't really matter. Plug it into either one, and you get 9, subtract the 9, a1 is -9. Now, the other way you could have done this is using more of a kind of a logic thing. Let me get back to it. You can see, look, this is it says right here, arithmetic sequence, which means, so here, let me tell you what that means. Arithmetic, so you could have done it this way. Here, I'm trying to get some space. There we go. So method number 2. Some people may like this method better. Method number 2. The fourth term is 0, 18th term, right? Fourth term is 0, 18th term was 42, they told me. Okay, that's what they told me in the beginning. Well, how far is it from the fourth term to the 18th term? Subtract that. 18 minus 4 equals 14 jumps, right? To get from the 14th term all the way out to the from the fourth term all the way out to the 18th term is 14 jumps. And how far did it go up? Come on, I'm bumping it. Sorry, here we go. It goes up by 42. So 42 divided by 14 jumps, right? Going from here to here, it went up by 42. That was in 14 jumps. Divided by 42 equals 3 per jump. That's the D. That's the difference from term to term. That's how you get the D right away. You can say, look, it's going up 3 per jump. How do we know? Because it went up 42, from 0 to 42, up 42 in 18 minus 4, 14 jumps. So going up by 42 and 14 jumps, that's 3 per jump. That's your D. Just get it that way. Now you know your D, so now you can write out the basic formula, which is A sub n is A1 plus n minus 1D. Now you know your D is 3. Put it in right there. And now you can just use, like, the fourth term is 0, for example. Say, oh, okay, now just plug in 4 here. And, okay, A sub 4 is A1 plus, again, 4. Plug in the fourth term is 0. And the D, we know is 3. Right, I'm just plugging in 4. I'm just taking this fourth term is 0, plugging in a 4. And the fourth term is 0. A sub 4 is 0. The fourth term is 0 is A1. 4 minus 1 is 3 times 3. 0 is A1 plus 9. And then you just subtract 9 on both sides. Boom, boom. A1 is minus 9. So there we go. That'd be another way. So I got the first D by just reasoning. Go from 0 to 42 in 14 jumps. Divide that, 3 per jump. Got my D. Plugged into the formula. A sub 4 is 0. The fourth term is 0. Solve for A1. Got A1, got D. Either way, either method's fine. We get A1 and D. There we go.